Hello, everyone, and welcome into Coach Craig Sports. This is the MLB DFS video, MLB DFS Core Pick video, Core Pick live stream for today, May 5th. As always, be going through a recap of yesterday's picks, talking through my core picks, talking through some weather possibilities for today's games. It's 11-game main slate overall. And then last but not least, going over to the cheat sheet, looking at the bottom half and talking about the top GPP teams to stack for today's slate just in general. But without further ado, if you guys do have any questions throughout the live stream, feel free to drop them in the live chat. If you are watching live, if you're watching on replay, throw them down in the comments and I'll get back to you guys as quickly as possible. But without further ado, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. A little bit of hit or miss day yesterday. At pitcher, we had Lucas Giolito, $8,300, got to 43 points. He was a hit and he was the third overall pitcher on yesterday's slate. One of the better value plays at that at $8,300. Did like that price down spot for him in general. And then our hitters, nothing really spectacular here. CJ Cron was $3,600 going against the lefty. Typically hits them pretty well, but only ended up with 3 points, 1 for 4 yesterday, so he did end up being a miss. Nico Horner, 4 for 4 in the past for his history against Patrick Corbin, $3,700. Only won 1 for 4 yesterday with an RBI, so he got 6.5 points. Did give him a miss since he had that $3,700 price tag. And then Dansby Swanson, who had some pretty decent history for Patrick Corbin as well. Corbin actually pitched rather decent against the Cubs yesterday, but Dansby Swanson, $3,100, gets 0 points since he was 0 for 4 yesterday. And then Nolan Arenado, just kind of in that pay down spot at $2,800, looking for a little bit of upside there, but unfortunately went 0 for 4, 1 run scored and 1 RBI. Did get to 6.2 points, so did give him a push since he was not anybody that really hurt us, but not anybody that really helped us at the same time. So pitcher and Lucas Giolito, very good yesterday. Hitting not so much yesterday, which, yesterday there was a good day to just kind of mix and match just in general. Today looks like probably another one of those days as we move forward. But with that being said, we're going to get off the recap. We're going to move over to kind of the weather report for today. So looking at RotoWire real quick. A couple spots that could have some potential rain today. Doesn't look like anything should be postponed at this point in time, but we have a little bit of chance of rain. Here we go. A little bit chance of rain at a game, a little bit of chance of rain in the Boston and Philadelphia game, and then I believe there's one more down towards the bottom, which is the Atlanta Braves game for the Baltimore Braves in Atlanta. A couple sources I follow on Twitter, as well as probably the most likely chance of rain today. There is a possibility of pop-up thunderstorm for the Kansas City game and for the St. Louis game just in general too as well. So keep an eye out on those ones at this point in time. Do look like I'm lagging just a little bit here, so I do apologize for that. I'm going to try to get off the screen as soon as it allows me to do so, but that's pretty much what we have in terms of weather report. If anything does change throughout the day, I'll try to leave it down in the comments. I got a baseball game later on today around 4 o'clock Central Time, so everything up until that point I will be updating, but if there's any changes at that point in time, we'll try to get to it as best that I can as well. But we're going to stop sharing this screen. We're going to go over to FanDuel and talk about the core picks that I do have for today as well. So we're going to start off at that pitcher position. We got Corbin Burnes. He is $10,800. He's going against the San Francisco Giants today. It's been a little bit hit or miss year in general for Corbin Burnes to start off. But against San Francisco, he has really good history versus them. The only guy that's really hit him at all is Jock Peterson. So he has 73, I believe 53 points versus San Francisco last year. So really high end upside there. Obviously a good strike up matchup for him in general. So definitely do like him today. At first base, we're going down to Justin Turner. $2,600, starting to hit the ball pretty well as of late. You can play him at first base. You can play him at third base. He's $2,600, and he's 4 for 8 against Zach Wheeler in his career with 1 home run. Wheeler is the starting pitcher for the Phillies today. Obviously, Wheeler is a pretty good pitcher, but I do like this matchup in a pay down spot for Justin Turner just in general. Bringing up some of his recent game logs, you see he's hitting 286 on the year, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs, but 3 straight multi-hit games, 4-game hitting streak in there. So some pretty good history in the recent term for him as well. So definitely do like that as we head into a matchup where he has a favorable matchup against the pitcher and Zach Wheeler that he has had some success in against the past. Then we keep moving down. We're going to Ozzie Albies here. I want to get one of the Braves players in here today. Ozzie Albies seemed like the guy that fit the best, $3,200. Does not have any history versus Dean Kramer. Dean Kramer has not pitched very well to start this season, which is a little bit unfortunate, but do like this Braves team in general today. They don't really have history against Dean Kramer, so Ozzie Albies has no history versus him, averaging almost 12 points on the season. 288 average. You already see 9 home runs, 26 RBI. So a very good start to the year for him. He's got 3 straight multi-hit games. So definitely do like the upside that he does present on today's slate overall. And then we keep moving down. We're going to Anthony Rendon. He's been playing a lot of them, but he's been hitting the ball extremely well as of late this week. So he's had a lot of good matchups this week in terms of hitter versus pitcher matchups and everything else like that. Only $2,900 going against the Texas Rangers. It's assumed that Dane Dunning will get the start for them today, or at least be the primary guy eating up a lot of the innings. So this is the spot of Jacob deGrom going on the IL, obviously. When I was looking at some stats last night, it looked like Nathan Eovaldi might get the start, but looking at Dane Dunning either getting the start or eating up most of the innings today, probably on some type of pitch limit for him. But Anthony Rendon is 4 for 10 versus him in his career. Obviously, we see with Rendon, you got 266 average, still yet to hit that home run that we've been kind of looking for all week, but 3-game hitting streak here, had some pretty good upside. Decent price tag. Why would I go back to him once again today? And then last but not least, we have his teammate in Taylor Ward. He is $2,800. He is 3 for 4 with 2 home runs versus Dane Dunning in his career. So obviously some excellent history there. Not the greatest start to the season. Obviously, we've seen him hitting a little bit down in the order. Zach Nieto's taking over that leadoff spot at this point in time. Maybe that changes in the near future, but Taylor Ward's starting to turn it around a little bit more as of late. Obviously, a 3-game hitting streak, 2 multi-hit games, 2 games in a row. So like the upside that he could present, pretty favorable matchup for him today as well. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you have $12,700 remaining, just under $3,200 per player. So still some pretty good opportunities to pay up for a star player. If you want to pay up for like a Mike Trout, if you want to play up for Fernando Tatis Jr., those guys have pretty good history today as well. So definitely would consider that. If you want to take a little bit more balanced approach, you can definitely do that as well. Even if you want to switch out pitchers from Corbin Burns to somebody a little bit cheaper. A couple guys that I do have on my cheat sheet, Max Fried, as long as that game goes off, looks pretty good against Baltimore. And then Merrill Kelly against the Washington Nationals, who has pretty decent history versus them as well. Well, a lot of good pitchers out there in general today. So definitely feel free to mix and match when it comes to pitchers, when it comes to hitters. Not a lot of hitter versus pitcher matchups that really stand out today in general. If you guys are interested in some more information on that, check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/Coach Greg Sport. But with that being said, going to close off of the FanDuel screen. We're going to go over to the YouTube community tab and talk about the bottom half of that cheat sheet and the top GPP teams to stack. So let me get that brought up here real quickly. So once again, the cheat sheet that I do put out Monday through Friday, it is 100% free. It's up on Twitter. It's up on Facebook. It's up on the YouTube community tab. If you guys have any questions related to that, feel free to message me down in the comments on one of those down on this video. Definitely more than willing to help you guys out as best as possible, but do like it as kind of a good starting point to reference as the day moves along. But the top GPP teams to stack that I do have today, we have the New York Mets going against Antonio Senzatella. Senzatella is coming back from ACL surgery. He's made 2 starts in the minor leagues, hasn't pitched too deep into those games, hasn't been too effective at that point in time. Some of these Mets hitters have pretty good history versus him as well. So definitely do like that as a spot to go to today. And then I already mentioned the Atlanta Braves a little bit. Going against Dean Kramer, there is no history here, but Kramer has not pitched that good to start the year. Braves have a pretty solid lineup for the most part. Obviously, they're a little bit banged up at this point in time too, but still like the upside that they can present on tonight's slate. And then we have the Los Angeles Angels going against Dane Dunning, whether he is the starter or eating up the bulk of the innings. They have some pretty good history versus him just in the past. How stretched out is he at this point in time? You could get into that Texas bullpen as well. And then last but not least, looking at the Brewers today, going against Sean Manaea, left-handed pitcher for the San Francisco Giants. He has had a very, very rough start to the year. Could get to him, could get to the bullpen. Could be a pretty favorable matchup just for the Brewers tonight in general. But with that being said, that's kind of a quick little overview on tonight's slate in terms of the core picks, in terms of the top GPP stacks, in terms of the weather update, and the recap for yesterday. Hopefully you guys found this video pretty informative. Hopefully you learned a little bit of something. If you guys have any additional questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments or message me on Twitter at Coach Greg Sport. Definitely appreciate you taking the time out of your day to check out this video. If you are brand new to my channel, checking out for the very first time, you found this information useful, you found the content that I'm putting out useful as well, feel free to subscribe. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Greg Sports, helping you with your DFS, mainly MLB DFS as well as USFL DFS. Later today, I'll be doing the USFL DFS video recapping week number 3 and taking a look at DFS for week number 4 for that. So if that's something you're into, definitely be sure to check that out as well. But with that being said, pretty much what I have at this point in time. Once again, do appreciate everybody that did take the time out of their day, whether you're tuning in live or watching this on replay. Definitely does mean a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in MLB DFS tonight.